Do you ever feel overwhelmed by the ever-changing world of technology? Tech It Out can help make some sense of it all. Breaking down geek speak into street speak, technology columnist, author, and TV personality Mark Saltzman covers consumer technology each week for every listener. Mark tackles the latest news, reviews, and how-tos to help you understand what's hot, what's not, and why.
Hey everyone, welcome to Tech It Out, episode 148, almost at the 150 show milestone, which is pretty cool. This show started back in July of 2017, so almost 3 years ago. That all adds up, right? 50 shows a year or so. Anyhow, I hope you all had a good week, despite what's going on out there. Nothing like, a global pandemic and then mass layoffs and then riots and looting. Sheesh. Please be careful out there. I've been pretty vocal about my stance on all of this in support of peaceful protests, but I'll leave that for social media and I won't occupy the limited time we have on this show for my soapbox. But please be safe out there. All right, we do have a great show for you on this week's Tech It Out with no less than 5 guests. In a moment from now, we're going to learn about a mental health app called Life, offering a free session to frontline workers during COVID-19. And another app we'll learn about today called Plowz and Mowz that's also offering help to frontline workers for free. Also on Tech It Out, we're going to learn about a high-tech and Alexa-enabled coffee maker from Hamilton Beach. IBM will stop by to talk about harnessing the power of several computers to help with experiments. And author and entrepreneur Russell Brunson will talk with us about tips to getting your business to stand out from the online crowd and how to attract the right customers. All of this and more on this week's show, powered by ASUS, which I'll tell you more about shortly, but let's kick things off. Being a frontline worker during this pandemic is scary and dangerous, and perhaps it's no surprise then that many of those fighting COVID-19 are having their own bouts with anxiety and fear and feelings of helplessness. As a way of showing appreciation and recognizing the mental health needs of those on the front lines, Life, dubbed the world's largest virtual support group, announced it's offering frontline heroes a 60-minute free text-based support session with a mental health expert through its app. Joining us on the line to tell us more is Kate McDonald, Head of Operations and Product at Life, which is spelled, by the way, L-Y-F. Welcome to the show, Kate.
Hi, Mark. Thanks for having me.
It's my pleasure. And I know you're in Melbourne, Australia, so thank you for being so flexible on the time of this interview. I think it's tomorrow for me, if that makes sense. But so thank you for starting your day on this program.
Oh, of course.
Before we talk, Kate, about what you're offering to frontline workers and a wonderful gesture, tell us a bit about Life, the app.
Yeah, of course, Mark. So Life is an app where people come to meet others who are struggling with the same sort of everyday issues that we all face, whether that be through anxiety, depression, insomnia, or even relationship issues. And it's just this wonderful place to share those thoughts and concerns that some might find a little too personal for their other social medias. And, we all love our family and friends, but they can't quite relate to exactly what we're going through at times. So this is the place to go. It's a global community that has no judgment and they're there to listen to what you have to say.
I got it. Can you walk us through how it works? You first download the app, sign up, and then what?
Yeah. So once you sign up, there'll be a stream of experiences or stories that others have shared. And, that could be the coming out story or someone else's battle with addiction. And you follow those stories that you gravitate towards, really, or you could actually create your own. And there's this community that are there to comment, support, or follow you every step of the way. And you just make these incredible connections with these people that really can relate because they've either been there before and come out the other side, or they're going through it the exact same stage as you are.
Right. And I understand that there's also professionals there, which we'll get to in a moment. So it's not just a peer-to-peer group, but you can find some help should you need it. But more on that in a moment. Before we continue, where is Life available? Is it specific to certain countries or states?
No, it's global. It's on the Apple App Store and Android, and worldwide support, which is excellent.
Okay, fantastic. And the website is life.com?
Life.app.
Life.app. Thank you. So lyf.app. All right. So can you now walk us through the different ways that you can interface with a mental health expert should you want to?
Yeah, of course. So there is a premium part of the app that we call Life Support, and that's where we have our mental health experts offering therapeutic advice. It is text-based, as you said before, and it is 24/7. So there's no appointments needed, no obstacles, no matching. And so it's ideal for that type of person. They've woken up at 3 a.m., they can't go back to sleep. They have a psychologist appointment next week, but then and there is when they're struggling and their mental health is at its worst. So that's when they need support, and that's what Life Support is there for. It's immediate, it's straight away, tap of a button, and you're talking to a professional.
All right. So text-based, so you can't hop on a call or video chat at this point. It's through the messaging within the app. Is there a reason why you've decided to just stick with text-based communication?
Yeah, we just felt that, a lot of people are more comfortable with that sometimes. If it was 3 a.m. or in that sort of circumstance, it is a lot more comfortable to sit there on your phone and type away rather than having this face-to-face, whether you don't want to get dressed up or anything like that. Or sometimes people don't even want to say it out loud. Some people, especially these days, just feel a lot better just typing that. Those issues out.
Yeah, it's more discreet. Yeah,
exactly.
I get that.
Yeah.
Thank you. And how much is the premium version? So I'm assuming then that the regular Life app, when you can talk with others going through other mental health challenges, that part, there's no cost. And then there's this premium element where you can be connected with a mental health expert. How much would that be?
So yeah, exactly that. Downloading the app is free, but to actually talk to a mental health expert is $5 US for 30 minutes. Or you say $10 per hour.
Much cheaper than a regular therapist, I assume.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And on call, as you mentioned. And it's not always the same person, right? I mean, as long as they specialize in that type of help that is needed, right?
Yeah, exactly. And our team are always in communication with each other as well. So our users should never feel like they're talking to anyone different each time. It should feel like it is, that same type of support anyway. So yeah.
We're joined by Kate McDonald, Head of Operations and Product at Life, which is spelled Lyf. This is considered the world's largest virtual support group. And about a month ago, they announced that they're offering Frontline workers a free 60-minute text-based support session with a mental health expert through the app, which is fantastic, Kate. Can you tell us a bit about that? What was the impetus for giving away this free session?
Yeah, of course. So our CEO and co-founder, Eddie Wittenberg, was constantly seeing these images of our frontline workers struggling physically, whether it would be the marks from the
mask, right? The PPE.
Yeah, exactly. So you couldn't even imagine what they were going through mentally. So we wanted to help in a way that we knew how, and we're hoping that Life Support does that, having the free 60 minutes to talk to a professional hopefully can really help them, because a lot of these frontline workers too are even isolating from their own families. So at least we're there ready to talk to them.
Wow. And this is available across the entire platform around the world?
Yes, it is. It is a global pandemic, so it is a worldwide offer. And so the frontline workers, if there's any of those listening now, it is life.app/healthcare-workers. If they head to that site, all the information's there for them to follow.
Okay. And this is part of the Life Support, Lyf support premium version of the app that anybody could access. This is what you're giving away for a free 1-hour text-based session, right?
Yeah, that's exactly it.
And how long are you offering this for? And do they need to provide proof, like any credentials that they're a healthcare worker, or do you take their word for it?
To be honest, we're just taking their word for it really at the moment. Like, we're just sending out these emails to a lot of the medical centres that we know, and then just passing all of this information on as we go. But it will be available for as long as we see necessary. We don't know when this pandemic will end, so we'll stay around until they need us.
Wow, fantastic. I read that these sessions are available to doctors, nurses, first responders, and healthcare workers. I didn't know that there was no end date, which is fantastic and very generous of you and your founders. So again, the website is life.app, lyf.app. You could also just go to your favorite app store to download it to your iOS or Android device. But the website will have more again. That's lyf.app on any web browser. Kate McDonald, thank you so much. Congratulations on the success of this app and all the good work that you're doing. It's no doubt needed and greatly appreciated. So thank you again. And thanks for your time.
Thanks so much, Mark. Thanks for having me.
Stay healthy. Thank you. What a lovely guest. I enjoyed that very much. Interestingly, later on in the program, we're going to learn about another app where the company is also giving away something for free to frontline workers to thank them for their tireless work during this COVID-19 outbreak. That's called Plowz and Mowz. That'll be a little bit later on in the program. We're also going to chat with IBM. We're going to talk with Russell Brunson, a best-selling author and entrepreneur who can help you in your business. And coming up after this short break, we're going to learn about a Hamilton Beach front fill coffee maker that's powered by Alexa. Our guest from Hamilton Beach will explain how it works, but you are listening to Tech It Out, which is brought to you by ASUS. For those in search of incredible, ASUS creates technology for today and tomorrow's smart life, including its line of award-winning laptops, desktops, monitors, smartphones, tablets, smartwatches, and much more. And that includes, by the way, their gaming gear, their ROG or Republic of Gamers line of products, which are phenomenal. Visit asus.com/US/radio for more info. That's asus.com/US/radio. You're listening to Tech It Out. I'm your host, Mark Saltzman. You can reach me at tech@marksaltzman.com. That's Mark with a C and Saltzman with a Z. We'll be right back with more. You're listening to the Radio America Network.
Listen to Tech It Out whenever you want. Find the Tech It Out podcast at iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome back to Tech It Out. Technology is changing the world around us, and the kitchen is no exception. From using your voice to ask for recipes or setting oven timers on smart speakers to high-tech appliances, big and small, there are plenty of tasty examples of tech as a tool in the kitchen. And if you like coffee, you're going to want to hear this next interview with Mary Beth Brawl. She's the Group Manager of Corporate and Consumer Communications at Hamilton Beach. Welcome to the show, Mary Beth.
Thanks, Mark.
Now, before we talk about this high-tech coffee maker, please tell us a bit about the company, Hamilton Beach.
Sure. Hamilton Beach is actually a very old brand. This year, we are celebrating 110 years.
Wow.
And not a lot of brands out there can celebrate that anymore. Really claim to fame for Hamilton Beach is back in the early 1900s, we invented the universal motor. So back then, motors ran on either DC or AC, and we created a motor that could run on either. And what that did is it really opened up appliances as a whole for consumers back then. So you had very few appliances, and then once the universal motor was invented by Hamilton Beach, there was everything from drink mixers, which was really one of our first products, to vacuum cleaners, fans, kitchen appliances, home appliances. So it really was something that opened up all kinds of things to help consumers around their home.
Got it. Now, look, I'm assuming many of us have been spending a lot more time at home drinking coffee during COVID-19, especially those working from home. So with that in mind, Mary Beth, let's now chat about this front fill 12-cup capacity coffee maker that has a high-tech twist.
Sure. So we actually took one of our most popular coffee makers. So this was our best-selling coffee maker that we had before we connected it with Alexa. And one of the great things about this coffee maker is that it's part of our front fill line. So our front fill line enables anybody to fill up their coffee maker without pulling it out from under the cabinet. That's kind of a frustration for consumers. So you can fill it from the front. And then we partnered with Alexa to make it a smart appliance. So some of the great features that you could do is connect it to your Alexa device or an app and have it brew coffee for you without actually pressing the button to brew. So you can say, Alexa, brew my coffee. But you can also do things like set your program. You can actually add it to your Alexa routines. So if you have a routine, let's say first thing in the morning, Alexa kind of opens your blinds and turns on your lights, it can also start brewing your coffee.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's cool. So I guess the idea is that you would put in the coffee grounds in the filter inside the coffee maker first, so you'd get it all ready and maybe pour some water in the back of the...
Yes, Alexa can't do that for us.
Yeah, right. Not yet.
Hopefully soon, right.
And then you would pour water in, and then do you have to do anything else, or is it now ready to go, and then whenever you feel like making a pot of coffee, even while you haven't put your feet on the floor yet in the bedroom, you could just grab an app or use your voice if you have a smart speaker in your bedroom and say something like, I don't want to make devices go off, but you'd say her name and then you would say something like, brew me coffee.
Correct. It's funny because actually I am working from home, and as I've been talking to you, my Alexa device has been going off. There are some things. So when you unbox it, you set it up. So we have a quick start guide, and it literally takes about 3 minutes to set it up. So if you were setting it up for programming coffee first thing in the morning, there's just a couple of things that you have to go through. But then first thing in the morning, you would say that command to brew your coffee, or you could do it from the app. So you wouldn't, if you didn't have an Echo device right next to your bed, you could simply press it from the app.
And that's a Hamilton Beach app, or is that something like built into the Alexa?
No, this is an Alexa-enabled.
Got
so this
it.
is a partnership with Amazon. So it is an Alexa. And we do find consumers are having a little bit of frustration for any smart device, having different apps. So this is Alexa certified and works with an Amazon Alexa product.
Thanks for clarifying that. So if you don't want to ask for coffee at that moment, you can also program. Do you mean like schedule, like when you want the coffee done? Okay, like if you want it set for 2 hours from now, you could do that.
Yes, with Alexa, you would do that through a routine. So people have routines for first thing in the morning, right before you go to bed. Some people have smart thermostats. So maybe first thing in the morning, your lights gradually come on with that routine and your heat gradually comes up and your coffee maker starts brewing.
Love it. We're chatting with Mary Beth Brault. She's the Group Manager of Corporate and Consumer Communications at Hamilton Beach. So I can also see college students taking advantage of this, maybe in their dorm room. I have 3 kids, 2 of whom are heading off to college this fall, hopefully, with everything going on in the world. And they are both going to be living on residences of their respective universities. And I can see them having something like this in their dorm room because they love coffee and it will help them while studying. So it's not just for those working from home, as I hinted at earlier in the show, or those who just love coffee and spend a lot of time at home, but also I think for students as well. So with that in mind, Mary Beth, can you walk us through the pricing of this product? And it is called the Front Fill 12-cup capacity coffee maker. That's the official name.
Actually, the official name is the Hamilton Beach Smart 12-cup coffee maker. Works with Alexa certified. A little bit long.
All right. Well, it definitely explains what it does. Yeah.
It's $89.99 in the U.S. and $129.99 in Canada.
Okay. Again, it's from Hamilton Beach. You can learn more at hamiltonbeach.com, I'm assuming. And
correct.
And you just would tap on the coffee maker section and you'll see it right there. This sounds great. I can't wait to give it a shot myself. Mary Beth, thank you so much for your time and be well.
Thank you. You too, Mark.
When we return on Tech It Out, we're going to catch up with best-selling author and entrepreneur Russell Brunson, who's going to tell you how to get a free copy of his hardcover book on how to get better traffic to your company's website. Not just more traffic, but the right people as well. So that's coming up on Tech It Out. If you run a small business or have a side hustle, you'll want to hear this. We'll be right back.
Want to follow Mark? Google him. Mark with a C and Saltzman with a Z. Breaking down geek speak into street speak. This is Tech It Out. Tech It Out with technology columnist, author, and TV personality Mark Saltzman.
You're listening to Tech It Out on the Radio America Network. For many businesses, e-commerce is booming. I mean, think about how many tens of millions of people have ordered from Amazon, for example, during the COVID-19 crisis. But for other businesses, they've been scrambling to get customers to their website. It's now more important than ever to have a strong online presence. Whether you're just starting a business, you already have an established one, or you want to get your side hustle going. With some tips on getting your business to stand out from the crowd and attract the right customers online, we're joined by best-selling author and entrepreneur Russell Brunson. Welcome to the show, Russell.
Hey, thanks so much for having me.
Congrats on your new book. We'll get to that in a moment, but let's chat about how business owners can continue to get traffic to their business during these challenging times.
Yes, definitely. So it's funny, people always ask me, Russell, what is traffic? And I'm like, well, think about traditional business. They rely on traffic, like either literally the cars driving past the front of their store and hopefully stopping and coming in, or foot traffic, people walking past, right? And obviously during this pandemic, there's been a lot less traffic going to people's stores. That's why so many companies have have been struggling. And so what people are looking for is like, well, how else can I get customers? And so the obvious solution is coming online, getting online traffic, which is just people online to find out about the product or the service that you have. And so, the whole book is about like, what are the ways we can find those people? The power of the internet is that we can target and find the exact customers we want, our dream customers, and just show our ads to them and get them to come to us. And so that's kind of what it's all about.
Okay, great. So do you have any suggestions on how businesses can get better traffic, not just more traffic, but the right customers, as you said?
Yeah. So the first step is really figuring out, like, who is your dream customer? If you were to sit down with a pad of paper right now, like, of all the customers I get, this is the best customer. Recently, I have a dentist we work with, and she was running ads, across her entire city. It was costing a ton of money. I said, well, instead of showing your ad to every single person, like, if you're going to figure out who is your dream customer, the best people, like, who are they? And she said, well, the people we make the most money from in our practice are the people coming in for like Invisalign and things like that. And I said, okay, well, instead of us showing ads to the entire world, let's figure out just what. Tell me more about those people. Like, what do they look like? How much money they make? What neighborhoods they live in? We figured out, and I kind of wrote out, this is exactly who our dream customer was. And we turned off all of our ads except for the ones just showing to those specific people. And made a special offer for them to come in and get Invisalign. And what happened is that her costs dropped to like 10% what they were paying before, and then she started getting just her dream customers to see her ads, and those people started coming in. They started getting between 10 and 20 brand new Invisalign clients every single week, which completely transformed their clinic. And so that's the power of what we're talking about here, is that because the internet allows you to target people so specifically, it's not like we're buying a TV ad where everyone in your city sees it. You can just show people who are the most likely to actually buy your product, and so it becomes very inexpensive and very fast to find those people and get them to come back to you.
I know that with social media marketing, you can target exactly the demo you want, demographic. Like you can say, I want females between the ages of 35 and 54 in this suburb of this city with this kind of level of income. And I mean, targeting what you want. So just like with your example with the Invisalign, you're going to be able to yield better results.
100%, yeah. And like I said, it's way cheaper that way, too, because you're not showing your ad to everybody. It's just the people who are most likely to actually buy your product, which is pretty cool.
Right. You're not painting with as broad of a brush stroke. Got it. In your book, you state, don't wait for people to come to you. It's probably a classic online business mistake. So how can an entrepreneur discover where their audience is congregating online?
Yeah, I think one of the beliefs that people have is kind of like the movie Field of Dreams, where it says, if you build it, they will come. And so entrepreneurs and business owners, they put the thing out there, and then they wait, and people don't come. And so our job is we have to go figure out, like, how do I get people to come to me? It's not like I have a storefront, people are going to walk past. They're not going to do it online. I have to go and find those people. So if the first question is, who's my dream customer? The second one is like, okay, now that I know who they are, where are they actually congregating and hanging out online? And that's what's really powerful about the internet. Think about, for all of us, we hang out online in the places that have people who are like us, who are interested in things like us, right? So if I'm interested in fitness, I probably hang out on specific fitness blogs that I read every day. I'm listening to fitness podcasts. I'm watching fitness videos on YouTube. Like there's very specific places I'm going if that's the topic I'm interested in. And if I'm not interested in fitness, maybe I'm interested in business or finance or whatever it is you're interested in. People are congregating themselves together. So what's cool about that is I don't have to go search everywhere to go find my dream customers. Like they're already hanging out in very specific places. So I got to figure out where are they congregating. And after I figure that out, it's like, okay, now that I know that, how do I get my messages, my hooks out there to grab their attention just long enough I can tell them my story and then redirect them back to my website. And so that's kind of the magic, is figure out where are those people, where are they hanging out. And for me, it's interesting. I just think like if I was to buy this product, where would I probably be hanging out? And when you start thinking about that, all the ideas will come in. Well, I would go here, and I would go here, and then you can go and you can find those people.
The name of the book, by the way, is Traffic Secrets, the Underground Playbook for Filling Your Websites and Funnels with Your Dream Customers. We're joined by Russell Brunson. He's the one who wrote the book, and he is revealing the direct marketing techniques that will allow you to be at the front of new trends and see opportunities that may be invisible to everyone else. And with that in mind, Russell, what about getting a leg up on the competition when it comes to new platforms before other people even know they exist?
Yeah, it's funny because people always ask me, like, well, Russell, the new platform, like TikTok just came out, or the new platform, they always hear about these things. Like, how do I have success there? I said, well, the key is there's already people having success there. So we don't have to go and reinvent the wheel. What I recommend doing is go in there and find out who are the other people who are already talking to your dream customer. Like what are those people like? And go and find them and follow them. And then what's cool about it is if you follow someone on Instagram or Facebook or TikTok or whatever the thing is, you start watching them post, you'll be able to see what things are working, right? Because when something's working, there's tons of comments and people sharing it, and things start growing. And so I literally will follow all the people I know who are selling similar things to me, and I just watch, what are the things that are working today? For example, a little while ago, there's another author that I'm friends with. I was following him, and he put out this ad where he took his book and he lit it on fire. And he was like, hey, my book's literally on fire. You should go buy a copy of it. And I was like, that is crazy. The ad caught my attention, and I started watching it, and he had almost 1 million views on this thing, and it was just going crazy. And I was like, okay, for some reason, that's working right now in today's market, in this platform. So I called him. I was like, do you mind if I do an ad like that for my book? He's like, oh, go for it. So I took my book and I dipped it in lighter fluid, which was a really bad mistake. I had gas dripping down my arms, and we lit it on fire. And I was like, my book's on fire, and try not to burn my hands. We made this little video, and we posted it online. That video's been seen now over 1 million times. It sold tens of thousands of copies of my book. And I knew that because I was watching what people were doing and then modeling their ideas. And so that's really how you stay in front of the trends. It's what are people doing today that's actually working? If the ads are showing up and you're seeing them, then it means it's actually working. So it gives you ideas of what to try and what to test out for your own business.
All right, that's great. We don't want to give away the whole farm here. We want people, of course, to pick up your book. It's trafficsecretsbook.com, trafficsecretsbook.com. How much does it cost?
If people want, they can get a copy on Amazon, but at trafficsecretsbook.com, we're actually doing, during the pre-launch of my book, I pre-bought a whole bunch of copies and we're giving away for free. So they've got to cover the shipping and handling, and they'll get a hardbound copy of the book shipped out to them over at trafficsecretsbook.com.
Okay, awesome. Russell Brunson, congratulations. Best of luck with this book. Appreciate your time today.
Thanks so much for having me.
Well, there you go. A free book at trafficsecretsbook.com. That was Russell Brunson. When we return on Tech It Out, we're going to catch up with IBM. Stay with us.
Breaking down geek speak into street speak. Tech It Out. Hosted by Mark Saltzman.
Welcome back to Tech It Out. The show is powered by ASUS, the company that creates technology for today and tomorrow's smart life, including its line of awesome laptops. They've got their ZenBooks, they've got VivoBooks, Expert Books for business, Chromebooks, and more, along with desktops and accessories and even wearables like smartwatches. Visit asus.com/US/radio for more info. That's asus.com/US/radio. I want to welcome IBM back onto the program, and this time to talk with us about the World Community Grid, which crowdsources the surplus power of idle computers in order to perform virtual experiments. To teach us more about it, we're joined on the line by IBM Corporate Social Responsibility Manager, Ms. Juan Hindo. Welcome to the show, Juan.
Thanks, Mark, and thanks for having me.
Pleasure. I also wanted to mention you're a South by Southwest speaker as well, which is pretty cool. Hopefully that will return in 2021. Why don't we just jump right in, Juan? What is the World Community Grid all about, and how does it work?
World Community Grid is essentially a way for anyone to help scientists who are tackling all kinds of problems. So in our latest project called Open Pandemics, we've partnered with researchers at Scripps who are looking for treatment options to fight COVID-19. Now, the challenge ahead of them is they have to figure out which millions of chemical compounds could work against the disease. And that's really quite overwhelming and very impractical to do in sort of a traditional, laboratory setting. That tends to be really expensive and can take many years. So not at all realistic, especially when you're in the middle of a pandemic. The good thing, though, is that a lot of this traditional lab work can now be simulated on a computer. So essentially, scientists can use software to mimic what would happen in the lab. And this way, they get to skip some of the trial and error and take what would have been, millions of possibility and narrow them down into a number that's actually feasible and manageable to take to the lab. The problem, though, is that these simulations need a ton of processing power or computing power. And scientists honestly don't typically have access to kind of their own supercomputer to do this. And that's where we step in. So for World Community Grid, we enlist the help of volunteers who install our software application on their computer or Android device. And when that device isn't being fully used, so right now while we're chatting or later on while I'm checking my email, my computer isn't really doing very much. And so instead of having all of that unused computing power just getting, wasted, going to waste, I would instead be using it to run one of these simulations on behalf of the team at Scripps to hopefully help them find some treatment options for COVID-19.
That's very cool. So it's harnessing the collective power of many thousands of computers in order to perform these experiments. Why would you say, Juwan, that this mission in particular is important? And what need does it fill in the scientific community?
Honestly, this way of doing science is a win-win. So for the researchers that we partner with, like the team at Scripps, they get to do this research in a fraction of the time. So instead of, spending decades sifting through millions of chemical compounds or, waiting for their turn on a supercomputer, they get to tap into our volunteer community and get this work done in a much quicker time frame. What's really cool about this, though, is that they get to do this at a scale that would otherwise be really impractical. So they get to ask bigger questions and really look at a problem like COVID-19, in a much more holistic and sort of a larger scale. And then also we have an open data policy on World Community Grid. So all of our research partners commit to making all of their data public. So as a volunteer, not only are you getting to sort of play a role in the scientific discovery process, but you're not just benefiting kind of the immediate research group, but the wider scientific community as well.
We're joined on the line by IBM Corporate Social Responsibility Manager, Ms. Juwan Hindo. She's here to discuss the World Community Grid project, the potential for the research, and how everyone can get involved and join the fight against COVID-19. Before we talk about how we can get involved, how we can participate, what types of results for previous projects have been found using this kind of technology?
So we've been doing this work for a number of years, and over the years we've had over 780 volunteers join to help out more than 30 different projects in all kinds of areas of research. And we've seen how this model can really work. So we've helped scientists discover treatment options for childhood cancer, new materials for solar cells, more efficient ways of filtering water. So it's really cool to see what can happen when you bring volunteers together.
And then finally, how can we get involved? If anyone's listening that thinks, hey, I can do this with my computer, what's the process like?
So you start on our website, and that's at worldcommunitygrid.org. From there, you install the World Community Grid app on your computer or Android device. Pick which projects you want to support, and that's it. You're good to go.
All right, worldcommunitygrid.org. And thank you for reminding me it's not just for computers, but also for Android-based smartphones and tablets as well. Juwan Hindo, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. Good luck with this project. Very exciting and important work.
Thank you so much for the opportunity to talk about it.
You're listening to Tech It Out on the Radio America Network. If you have any feedback for me on what you like or don't like with Tech It Out, you could reach out to me privately or publicly. My email address is tech@marksaltzman.com. That's TECH@MARCSALTZMAN.com. If you're on social media, I'm on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. We'll be right back.
Follow Mark Saltzman on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. Listen to Check It Out whenever you want.
Another company stepping up to help healthcare professionals during this crisis is called Plowz and Mowz, a company whose app lets you find lawn and landscaping services near you. Consider them the Uber for lawn care. And joining us on the line to discuss what they're offering is Wills Mahoney. He's the co-founder of Plowz and Mowz. Welcome to the show, Wills.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Sure thing. Now, before we continue, I do want our listeners to know that Plowz and Mowz is spelled Plowz and MOWZ. That's clever. So why don't we start right from the top? What is the company all about?
Yeah, so, we are, as you said, like the Uber for lawn mowing, snow plowing. We do 9 outdoor services. So basically a customer, goes into our app, enters a few things of information and gets an instant price. And then it's dispatched out to one of the 8,000 landscaping companies that are on our platform.
Okay. So you have an app And you basically tap like, hey, I need my driveway plowed if it's in the winter and you're in maybe one of the northern states, or you want some landscaping or lawn care done. You simply select what the work is, and then you'll be notified through the app that a professional is on its way, or do you book it in advance, like you schedule it?
Yeah, for snow plowing, it's we get jobs done as little as 10 minutes using the technology that we have. But lawn mowing, it's you can schedule it as early as the next day, so a little bit different.
And like Uber, can you leave like a star rating for the person or persons who did the job? And is the payment all done through the app? Is it like Uber in that respect as well?
Yeah, so payment's done through the app. You rate your landscaper, so if you didn't like the job, you don't see that landscaper again. You also get a picture of the completed job, so a lot of people that are out of town might like it, just to make sure the job was done well and right and on time.
And what markets are you in across the country?
So we're in 55 markets across the country. So Minneapolis, Chicago, Cleveland, Boston, Syracuse, Rochester, you name it. We're in a bunch of different markets all over the place, and we're rapidly growing.
Yeah, great. Congrats. And I understand you're the largest on-demand lawn mowing company in the U.S., but you're based in Syracuse, New York, right?
Yep, our headquarters are here in Syracuse, New York.
Okay, great. Now let's pivot and talk about what you're offering healthcare professionals during the coronavirus outbreak.
Yeah, so our goal with our company has always been to help people. So we recently partnered with Toro and created the Hero campaign. So we're offering free lawn mows to healthcare workers working in the front line. Really, I mean, these are people that are, doing 12-plus hour shifts right now, and we want to check off lawn mowing off their list and give them a free lawn mow.
Okay, awesome. And Toro, of course, is the lawnmower and landscape equipment company, right?
Yeah, they're the powerhouse. Yeah, they're a great American company.
Yeah. So that's great that you're offering this. So if someone is listening that is a healthcare professional, or they have someone in the family and they want to spread the word, how do they get going? What do you need to enter, like a code to get?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's a really simple process. You go through the whole order process, and at checkout, you just type in code HERO, and you'll get a free lawn mow up to $60. So, as long as you don't live on a farm, you should be able to get a free lawn mow.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So the code is HERO, and you would type that in on the app, and then there's a website as well, right, Wills?
Yep, it's plowsandmowz.com, and that's spelled with a Z.
We're chatting with Wills Mahoney. He's the co-founder of Plowz and Mowz. The company has announced that they've partnered with Toro to help offer what they call an aptly named Hero campaign in all 55 of their markets to give a free up to $60 lawn job for a healthcare professional, which is fantastic. They are, after all, really the heroes here. And I understand, Wills, that your twin sister is a first responder. Is that right?
Yes, she is. Yeah. So this is also near and dear to me as well. To be able to give back to these healthcare workers that are helping other people really, really mean a lot to me.
Fantastic. All right. The app and the website, again, is Plowz and Mowz, Plowz, Mowz. And they're considered the Uber for lawn care, as well as landscaping and snow plowing services as well, depending on where you live and what time of year it is. And I guess that's the website you'd recommend people to visit, plowsandmowz.com.
Yes, it is.
All right. Or you can download the app from the App Store for iPhone and iPad, or the Google Play Store for Android devices. Wills, thank you so much for your time.
You got it. Thank you.
Interesting that 2 out of the 5 guests today are giving frontline workers something for free to thank them for their work during these challenging times. Love that. That was Life, who we first spoke with, and then bookended it with Plowz and Mowz. And in the middle of the program, Hamilton Beach, Russell Brunson, the author, and IBM joined us. You can listen to this program as a podcast, if you aren't doing so already, by going to your favorite podcast platform and searching for Tech It Out. And then my name, Mark Saltzman, should show up. Mark with a C, Saltzman with a Z. And if you do like the program, I encourage you to leave a review, a rating if you like, and share it with family and friends, or click the social media tab to tell your following that you're into this tech show. I really do appreciate any support you've got. This show, Tech It Out, is powered by ASUS for those in search of incredible, creating technology for today and tomorrow's smart life. Visit asus.com/US/radio for more info on their awesome gear. That's asus.com/US/radio. Have a healthy and safe week ahead, everyone. Take care of yourselves. And I look forward to chatting with you next weekend on Tech It Out. Bye-bye for now.